What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we got some beers to drink, some MMA to talk. Today, we don't have any specific fights to go over. I just want to talk about how the PFL has been absolutely burying Bellator's top guys, and I think it's because they're jealous. We'll get into that in just a second. The beers we're drinking today, Mickey's again. Mickey's all the way, baby. So, what I'm talking about today, PFL absolutely burying these Bellator guys. Bellator has some superstars over there. They did a terrible job promoting, but PFL has done a spectacular job at making sure nobody ever fucking hears of these guys again. Last year they acquired Bellator at the end of the year. It was a huge move, and with a big change like that, you expect some learning curve, and everything started off fucking awesome. They started off a champ-to-champ pay-per-view, Bellator champs versus PFL champs. It was sweet. Bellator champs went out and kicked ass. Everyone but Ryan Bader won. So that might have left a bit of a sour taste in PFL's mouth. I don't know. But since then, the only Bellator champ you ever hear spoken about is Liz Carmouche, and it's because she's the only Bellator champ that agreed to be in the PFL tournament. It's just really bizarre how bad things have gotten for Bellator. These cards they're putting together, the way they're burying guys, not promoting other guys, just treating them like shit. I don't know. We'll get into it. But what they're doing to Bellator talent is just fucked. We're going to start off, the first thing I'll bring up is the Gegard Mousassi situation. Gegard Mousassi, just legend of the sport. He's a former Bellator champ and one of their top guys. He was the first to speak out on the handling, how PFL was handling him. He said they've kept him shelved for months. Then they want to renegotiate his contract. They say he's making too much. They want to cut it down, make it more reasonable. He's like, I don't know. And then finally, he's just like, let me go. And PFL, instead of trying to keep a legend like that, someone that draws eyes, especially for the kind of talent that PFL has, someone like Gegard Mousassi would have been big to throw on a card just as a co-main event, not in a tournament. They're just like, you want your release? Have it. Get out of here. We don't want you. We don't need a Gegard Mousassi. You're too good for us. Too good for the PFL. So that was fucked. It didn't make any sense. I mean, he's out there. He's saying he's ready to fight. This dude's a huge name, and they can't find a fight for a guy that fights in 4 different weight classes. There's 4 different weight classes you can find this guy a fight at that he'll fight in. Just pathetic. And then the next thing I want to get to, the Bellator Champions Series cards. These are the most dog shit piece of just bullshit cards I've ever seen throw together. You got guys, it's got one good fight on it. Sometimes not even a good fight, but just one main event, and then the rest of them are fucking 10 fights with 20 fighters you've never fucking heard of. Pathetic. This upcoming weekend, I don't know hardly anybody on it. Sinead Kavanaugh's on the undercard, but other than that, it's headlined by Jason Jackson. He's fighting a guy out of Russia that I don't remember being a big name in Bellator when he was there. Other than that, though, nobody's on it. And you know what time it kicks off? Fucking noon on HBO Max. I've never thought noon to be prime time for fighting. Prime time, afternoon, night, Saturday, Sunday, even Friday, you can get some good fights in there. But no, they throw these dog shit cards together. They don't promote them at all. Don't advertise, no marketing. Don't get the word out. The only way you find out about it is because MMA media covers it, or you gotta go. I had to fucking search the internet for a minute finding when this starts because they just don't have it fucking posted anywhere. They don't give a fuck about Bellator. It doesn't make any sense because these Bellator fighters are a lot better than the best of the PFL. Even if the company failed, Bellator itself had a lot better talent, I think. With that being said, so they got these dog shit fights. You're burying guys like, you're burying Jason Jackson, who's on a roll. You're burying Patchy Mix. Dude's a beast. I mean, you got other guys just like, hey, they're not paying the bills that they promised to pay, the medical bills that we paid. They were supposed to compensate. PFL doesn't have any answers for it. They're like, that was Viacom CBS, not our problem. It's so Bush League pathetic. And then you also got stars like AJ McKee. You never hear about what the hell is going on with him. Absolute talent. One of the best featherweights in the world at his time. Now he's up at lightweight, and he had a lot of promise. This dude could have gone to the UFC. He re-signed with Bellator. Now he's getting screwed because PFL bought Bellator, and they're salty that all the Bellator guys beat the fuck out of their dudes. So what PFL decided to do, instead of bringing these studs, these awesome fighters, I get not a lot of them wanted to do the tournament, but you're not even going to put them on a card. Like, they could be a co-main or a main event on these regular season cards, and then throw the ones that look great, the ones that have a great year, throw them on the pay-per-view at the end of the year, PFL does. Or have the belts defended on PFL cards, because why not? You don't have a regular rotating championship. That would be so much more entertaining than this bullshit they have going on now, where you got guys fighting, you don't find out about it till 3 days before or a week before, and you're like, man, I gotta watch this whole fucking card just to get to that one good fight. No fucking way. And PFL knows what they're doing. They're like, nope, we're gonna bury these guys. They're Bellator, they're not PFL. Fuck them. And just wasting the primes of all these excellent fighters. Patchy Mix, he'd be a top guy over in UFC. Maybe not the top guy, but he'd be a top guy in his weight class. AJ McKee, he'd be a competitor sure as shit. Jason Jackson, he'd be trouble at 170. Johnny Eblen, 185, stud. I mean, it just doesn't make sense that they're not marketing these guys that can really fight, that can really bring in eyes. Gegard Mousassi, why the fuck would you let him go? So that's all this episode has been, just me wanting to air my beef with the Bush League handling that PFL has displayed since taking over Bellator. I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just like they're jealous that Bellator beat the fuck out of all their top guys. So instead of embracing the merger and getting these guys built up and really bolstering their company, making it awesome, they're like, nope, you're never going to hear about these guys again. I never want you to talk about them. We're ruining their prime. When they come back after their contract's up for some shitty promotion and they get knocked out, people are going to be like, oh, that's why PFL didn't want them, because they spent 4 years on the fucking shelf with PFL giving them one fight a year, no marketing, nobody gives a fuck about it. It just frustrates the shit out of me. I am not pumped about what they're doing with the Bellator talent right now.